it can be very, I'm trying to think of the word, I'm almost going to say traumatizing, and I'll just use that for now, is when we feel like we're speaking and speaking and speaking and we're not being heard. Or the power of choice is taken away from us. So, and I think of people, and I haven't been in that position, and I don't claim to know what it's like to be in that position, but I think of people that were in some type of a controlling relationship, if you will, or an abusive relationship, whatever that might be, and it's not necessarily just like kind of husband and wife, that type of thing. It could be, parent and daughter and son. It could be teacher student. It could be, employer employee. I mean, there's a whole variety of situations where the person has tried to speak out and they've maybe been ridiculed, or they've had that returned with, let's say, cruelty. And so then what happens after a while is they get tired and tired of doing it, and so they just quit talking altogether. For those folks that work with energy out there, you find this very common with people. And like I said, there's a whole variety of reasons, but throat issues, shoulder issues that are related to communication. I remember I give a treatment, a Reiki treatment to an individual, and we were just kind of chatting away, and she mentioned how her shoulders were sore and they're kind of giving her headache and whatnot. So I gave her, a quick treatment, and it worked really well. And a couple of 3 minutes, her muscles were all relaxed, and she was almost asleep. So that worked out really well. And then something inside me, and there's a story behind this, but I'll kind of cut to the chase on it. Something inside me said, ask her how things are between her and I don't know if they were married yet, but it's the fellow she was living with. And so I said, well, I said to her, this may sound strange, but how are things between you and, I think Jim was his name, how are things between you and Jim? And she says, well, she says, good. She says, well, we've been fighting like cats and dogs the last, 3 days. There's the validation, right? So communication, right? In this case here, there was probably some conflict going on, and the one person was talking and feeling the other one wasn't being heard, and, the reverse and whatnot. That energetic imbalance eventually manifested through time into the physical and manifested as the sore shoulders. Now, this is an interesting comment or aspect of this. The imbalance manifests energetically first. Then in due course and time will manifest into the physical. This is why I believe holistic healing, whatever that looks like, is so valuable, because we tend to go for the core, go for the root of the problem. If we can go to the root of the problem and balance out the energetics in it, however, whatever modality we wish to be using, then what happens in that is that healing goes from the inside out. And then the physical manifestations of that imbalance just simply fade away. Now, it's not always easy. It is just that simple, but it's not always easy. And of course, it's a process. But the power to choose is so very important. So I think what I'd like to do now is I'm just going to do a little energy healing treatment, as I've done with the other ones, on your throat chakra and mine as well. So I use something that we call convergence therapy, and it's just kind of an evolution of Reiki, if you will, but we found it to be very effective, very powerful, and very fast. So what I would like you to do now is kind of just get comfortable wherever you're at. I'd ask you to turn down the radio, but then you couldn't hear me. So get comfortable wherever you're at, and I want you to begin to take some nice, deep, slow breaths. And remember, when we breathe, we want to fill our lungs completely with air. So we let our tummy extend just a little bit. And then we release and let the air flow back out again. And flow in. And then flow out. So nice, slow, relaxed breaths. Perfect. I remember a lady that participated in a video, online video version of this treatment that we're going to do. It was a little bit longer. She emailed me and she said she had a whole variety of neurological issues in her neck. And she emailed me and said, after participating in this treatment for the first time in 2 years, she was able to turn her neck without pain. Don't underestimate the power of words. And as you continue to breathe, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to energetically, I'm going to reach out, and I'm going to connect with you, and with specifically your throat chakra. Perfect. Excellent. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flood your throat with a beautiful blue light. Remember the color of our throat chakra is the color blue. And this light fills your throat. You may feel a little heaviness or even a slight pressure on your throat. You may or you may not. If you do, what's happening is, as that energy center is energized, our physical body sometimes just is adjusting to that increase in the energy flow. That's all that is. Great. And I'm just going to let the energy run as it flows through and releases, and then it flows out past your throat. Then it flows down into your shoulder muscles. We carry just so much stuff in our shoulders. And so as it flows down through there, it releases the muscles, it relaxes the muscles. Perfect. You may feel your shoulders even just sort of gently settle down a little bit as all the muscles around the joints begin to release and to relax. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently disconnect from you. And just bring myself back to myself. Well, just allow that treatment to keep working, because it keeps on working. It keeps on working. It keeps on working.
90 seconds.
Excellent. I've just got my 90-second warning from my producer. And so I will thank you for coming and sharing this half hour with me. I encourage you, if you are free this Wednesday at 7 Mountain Standard Time and you wish to participate in our live broadcast of the meditation. As I said, it'll be a bit of an experiment, so we'll see how that goes. My name is Russ Latow. I'm the founder of the Healing Center. You can contact me by going to our website at www.healingcenter.ca, and that is center spelled C-E-N-T-E-R. For our listeners in Saskatchewan, we are coming your way. We are putting together the programs now, and so stay tuned. You'll see us coming your direction. We're also looking at making some more trips to the U.S. We're just sort of deciding where. So if you would like to see us in your area with our Reiki certification programs, that would be fantastic. Thanks, Candice. It was awesome that you dropped in. I appreciate that. It's really neat to reach out with my throat chakra and touch everyone. So I'm down to 20 seconds. Once again, thank you very much. My name is Russ Latow, and you've been listening to Blog Talk Radio. Everyone, have a great evening, and I will see you next week.